Joanes, and I have ADD or ADHD. I have had a lot of different kinds of jobs, but currently I am self-employed, like construction, smaller construction, renovation. Well, I multifaceted. It depends on like what state you're in a bit. There's the employment agency have programs to help with work training. It can lead to a job, but they also pay the company to take those take people in. And then I've heard that some companies abuse this and just keep rehiring new people and work training to get those benefits.
Yeah.
So it might be a helpful way to get some experience, but it could be good to them not try to get like work training kind of jobs. It depends a lot on the job. When I was working in a restaurant, I needed to write down all the orders and everything, like make sure to write everything down right away, because otherwise there was too much to keep track of, so I would like forget something. So I would keep writing down what I had to do, and make like lists of to-do lists constantly. I kept a small notepad on me. Same, and I was also working in elderly care. Then I would also have to like write down everything, otherwise I could potentially forget something. So smaller companies tend to have, or smaller workplaces tend to have a hard time providing like help. So if you're in a small workplace, you might have to figure out the solutions for yourself a bit more. In bigger workplaces, I think it's more likely that they could adapt the work to you. I've had to become quite good at organizing my work for myself. Writing things down, planning things out more than most people need. In my room, my apartment, I have a spot for everything. I know where everything is supposed to go, and that makes it super easy to clean my room, because then I just put everything back in its place.
See.
It can be the same with work. So when I was working in the metal industry, and if I had to go looking for a tool for too long, I might forget something else that I had to do. So I try to organize the tools better, have things like within reach. It's also good practice for everyone, especially for someone with ADHD. Since it's hard to focus, it's good to take breaks, and then a good thing is to manage how long the breaks get, because if you like get stuck for too long or like lose focus for too long, then you can lose a lot of time. Then if you get better at just taking a few, like half a minute or 2 minutes, just letting everything go, then refocusing can help a lot.
Yeah.
Exercise helps me a lot with focus. So I've part of the reason why I started my company is that I'm quite strong-willed. And I need the structure. And it would be hard to convince employers sometimes. So I quit the job in the metal industry when I had tried to make some changes and the other employees were not cooperating, and my employer didn't try to help me like have them be part of the changes. So with my strong will, I felt that I needed to be self-employed, to start my own company. and then I'm in charge of, I can make the structure that I need. And I think in the older generations, there can be quite a bit of prejudice, especially since a lot of them might have had the same issues but never got diagnosed, and then they're like, yeah, if I could do it, you can do it too. In younger generations, it's so common with a diagnosis, so I don't think people think much of it. We sometimes call it disabilities, but they're more like variations in cognitive function, and sometimes it can be like a superpower. So when I'm really into a project, I can focus for so long and I get so much done. I know I have some friends who have autism or programmers, and a lot of people with autism, they can really get into the details and have very structured thinking. So they're great programmer, line of business here.
Okay.
Like where in the country maybe. So generally I would say yes, but I have been less inclusive.
Yeah.
But I think that maybe some companies try to do it in ways, but then and as long as they give another reason for why they didn't hire that person, they can get away with it. I think I've had a difficult time with writing the CVs and sending out the applications also. But I think for me it was more about, I saw it as a failure every time I didn't get a response from an application. And it's, even if you got rejected, it's not necessarily a failure. You still did something, and just getting an interview is a big step forward. For me, it was more about handling rejection and applying for enough jobs. So sending out enough applications. And then I've also gotten a few of my jobs through contacts. It's quite common in Sweden that you know someone at the workplace and then they can vouch for you. Employer might not care as much about your CV and cover letter. Up until high school, gymnasia, schooling is quite structured in Sweden. You have a fixed schedule and a lot of the work is done during school hours. And then you have some homework and projects that are more in charge of. Most of it is still within the structure. So it wasn't until after high school that I had to structure it myself. So I went to folkhögskola. I don't know if there's a word for it. It's a school form that's available in the Nordic countries. It's supposed to be made to suit whatever students are in the class. So both the way you're studying and the curriculum to the degree that it's possible is based on what the interests of the group. And there I was able to learn to structure my work a lot. But then you never learn to organize the studies or work yourself. So it would be good to maybe have more responsibility for the organization earlier, I think. To learn to organize yourself, learn to organize how you study, because that's the difficult part for me, at least. Learning, I didn't have a very difficult time with learning nVET itself, which also helped my disability for longer, because I could keep up just from half listening in class, and I would mostly get passing grades. So I think some modification could be good, but it depends on the object of the schooling, what you're trying to teach the kids. So you can get help with taking notes for lectures, and then the university pays someone in your class to write down their notes clearly and share them with you. You can get help organizing bigger projects. So if you have like a thesis or a big presentation or something, you can get help from an older student in a year above you to like make a plan for what parts to do, maybe what if you're doing a study, maybe how to conduct it properly. So smaller room with less people, but they got way better at recording. But I know some lecturers are still not the best at it, so it differs a bit depending on the class and the lecturer. And so in university, it's up to you to get the help that you need. So there's an office you can contact to ask for the help. You need to ask for the help to get it.